Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Showdown battle video. Today's battle is a PU match, because I've been playing a ton of this tier recently, and I finally have a team that I really like, which features a lot of really cool stuff, and a lot of really fun answers to a lot of the stuff that I see very commonly in the PU tier. But as you can tell from my opponent's team, most likely, I am facing a Sun team in this battle, and I haven't actually faced one with this team yet. But honestly, the way that it looks, my team actually, in my opinion, matches up really well against what my opponent has. And there's a lot of cool stuff on this team that I'll explain as I get into this battle. So let's jump into it right now. I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Kecleon as my opponent decides to lead off with Pyroar. And I think, oh, well, this is great. I have an Assault Vest Kecleon. I could take any hit from the Pyroar, but I also packed the Fake Out, so I'm going to go ahead and go for that first turn, just to get the free damage as my opponent switches into Mesprit. Now, seeing that it doesn't have an item in this case, or at least it doesn't have leftovers, or Rocky Helmet, which I've seen also, I know that it's probably going to want to set up the Sunny Day, or go for Rocks, or even just be like a Healing Wish variant, potentially. I don't know. But I know that that was a free switch into my Ninjask, just to get some good damage on it, go for the U-turn, and then switch out into my Drampa, which is going to be able to obviously sponge any special attack from this thing. Go for the Flamethrower, does a solid 37%. And then my opponent makes this very interesting play right here, where he actually U-turns right here, which is, you know, pretty normal, but actually goes into Shiftry. Now, had I clicked Flamethrower again, I would have just killed the Shiftry, but fortunately for my opponent, I actually went for the Defog, just because I wanted to get those rocks away, and that actually turned out to be incredibly important anyways in this battle. But I know my opponent's probably going to go for the knockoff, because Drampa obviously can pack the Sap Sipper ability, but me bringing in Poliwrath here, thinking, okay, he's probably going to go for like the Leaf Storm now, so I'm going to go into Kecleon to take the predicted Leaf Storm. But he actually goes for a knockoff again, possibly predicting a switch or just spamming knockoff because you can just get away with that anyway. But so my Kecleon takes a really good chunk of damage there, which is unfortunate, but I do have the Fake Out, so I'm just going to go for that, get some solid damage, then decide to switch into my Sableye because I figured, hey, the sun's about to go down, I could basically taunt anything that wants to switch in and try and set up Sun later on if he wants to go back into Mesprit. So I figured there's no way he's going to stay in, so I go for the Will-O-Wisp, and as you know, the Dark types are immune to Pokemon with Prankster, so the Will-O-Wisp does absolutely nothing. He sets up a Swords Dance and just kills me with a knockoff, which really stank because Sableye could have been very useful to have. But I'm going to go ahead and just go back into Kecleon, go for the Fake Out for the free damage as he switches in Zangoose. And then me thinking, oh, he's probably not going to want to go for the Quick Attack right here. He could just go for Facade and kill literally anything on my team. I decided to go for the Shadow Sneak to be really funny to see if he wanted to go for the Facade, and then I could stall out a turn of Toxic, but he just goes for the Quick Attack anyway, so whatever, lose my Kecleon. But I'm able to bring in Ninjask right now, which is going to actually just go ahead and first Protect to stall for some Toxic damage, and then from prior experience being matched up against Zangoose, I know that I can live a Quick Attack pretty decently, so I'm going to go ahead, stay in, go for the Leech Life, and just take it out. And as you can tell, based on what my opponent has, Ninjask is a huge problem to my opponent's team, if you can't tell by now. So my opponent's going to go ahead and switch into Pyroar. I have no idea what kind of set this is at the moment. Sometimes they're Specs with Sun, other times they have a Z move, or their Scarf, I don't really know, but I know at least with +2 I'm going to outspeed. So I go ahead and go for the U-turn, as my opponent goes for the Hyper Voice, which is the safest bet, because obviously I could have switched into two things to possibly resist the Fire move. But I'm just going to go ahead and take the Hyper Voice pretty well, then go ahead and Roost Up to get a good chunk of health back, because I know that my opponent has two special attackers in the form of Pyroar and also Victreebel, which I'll want my Drampa healthy for. But knowing, again, he's bringing in the Mesprit, he's either going to immediately set up Rocks or immediately set up Sun. Free switch for me to go into my Ninjask right here, so I go ahead and do that, go for the Leech Life, get a little bit of health back, which could come into play a little bit later. But then I'm going to go ahead and go for the Protect right here, just to not only stall a turn of Sun out, but also see what my opponent may or may not be locked into. Again, I have no idea what set this Pyroar is running yet. So go for the Protect, get, you know, one turn of Sun gone, go for the U-turn, do a solid chunk of damage to this, and then I'm going to go ahead and switch out into my Drampa, as you can see right here. Fire Blast does only 28 with the Sun up, so that's pretty good. This is a special wall, by the way, with Drampa. It's also my Defogger. And then he's going to go ahead and go for the Inferno Overdrive, but he's going to do 52% damage, but I'm still going to live it, because again, I'm max special defense, pretty much. And unfortunately, he got the burn, so whatever. It's not a big deal, because I'm just going to sack my Drampa here, because I realize now at this point that I really only need Drampa for the Pyroar, not the Victreebel, because Ninjask can just kill Victreebel. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it in again, now that I know that he's not Scarfed, go for the Leech Life, get even a little bit of health back. And the main reason I'm doing this is because I am worried about priority. Basically, Shiftry possibly packing the Sucker Punch, which could kill me in one shot. So now, additionally right here, this was a very interesting play. I go for the U-turn, even though I could very easily kill it because I do have Flyinium Z with Aerial Ace. But part of me was thinking that this Victreebel was Focus Sash, and I didn't want to risk that. So I go for the U-turn. I can sack my Poliwrath pretty much at this point anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So I'm going to bring it in, just sack it right here, find out that it's Life Orb. So I was making the safe play here, but it worked out in my favor anyway. And then I'm going to go ahead and just go for U-turn right here, which is when he's going to bring in his Shiftry. Now this I felt like was the worst decision that he could have made, because I actually later calced this and found out that Sucker Punch can actually just kill me from that range if he was going to go for it. But it allows me to U-turn out into my Clefairy. He's going to go into Liepard. I'm going to go for the Moonblast, which I think is a little bit uncommon. A lot of Clefairies that I've seen in the PU tier pack Seismic Toss over Moonblast, but this works out for me. So I can bring in my Clefairy, easily KO the Liepard. He's going to bring in his Victreebel with the Sun Up, but because, again, that I packed the Protect, I can go ahead, go for the Protect right here, get my +1 speed boost to then now outspeed Victreebel in the Sun, and then go ahead and proceed to kill it with a Leech Life for the victory in this battle, which is a lot of fun to kind of play through this in this sort of way. My Ninjask is actually EV'd very specifically to outspeed a lot of like interesting things without a speed boost, and then even more so with the speed boost, because Primeape is so common in this tier. So with a Protect, I can obviously not only predict what the Primeape is going to do, since most of them are Scarfed, but then outspeed it on the following turn and KO it with a flying move. And that's kind of the basis behind this. The other thing that this thing can outspeed also at +2 is a Gorbis that has Shell Smash, so that's also something that's really important. But this team overall just functions really well. In this particular match, you can see how well it can possibly handle a Sun team, even with a few misplays on my end, and also some great prediction on my opponent's end. But anyways, everybody, that is it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed this battle. And as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.